Good evening, this is Rodney with the Triton Wave Market Outlook for Monday, July 28th, 2014. And this is brought to you by Triton Wave Consulting, which is the home of the Triton Waves. The Triton Waves are early warning market timing indicators used in all time frames in all markets worldwide. Okay, so it's right now about 10 o'clock Central Time, and the S&Ps are down 175. They've been down as much as 400. Japan's selling off because of geopolitical reasons. There's just too much insecurity around the world in terms of stability. What I did was I took the S&Ps right here and I drew some parallel lines of going back to September of 2011 until the present, and then just copied and did a parallel above it. And we have been riding the crest all the way up, and every time it comes up to this crest it backs down. Each time it's actually back down to the green line is the 144 exponential moving average. It didn't come up to here, but it backed down again. This time it did come back up again and came back to the 144 once again. And I'll show you on shorter term graphs, shorter term time frames, that this also may be the case right here, starting on Friday. And I'll show you on the 34-minute Globex chart just what I mean. But right now, this actually, without injuring the upside, could hit this number right here at 1880, which is this green line, and it probably wouldn't take too long to do it. So be careful of that. It has not breached this upper parallel line to the on the upside since for 2.5 years. So there's no reason, with the geopolitical stuff going on, that it should take off. There's absolutely no reason, but there's lots of reasons why it would come down here and just like lop off like 70 or 80 points. It's way overdue. I mean, look at this. Look at this move up. It's extraordinary. I don't think it's ever happened before. For this long a period, anyway. Okay, so here we have the 34-minute Globex chart, which means it's a 24-hour chart. And this is approximately 5 o'clock when it started, 5 o'clock Central Time when it kicked off again on Sunday. This is actually the 34-minute on these. These are, for those of you who are listening to this for the first time, these are the Triton waves that I have developed as a market timing indicator. And this is I don't have a pen so I can't write, number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. And these are the newest versions. These are version 5.0. Makes them very clear. When this went below 0, this was a very nice chunk of change right here. And the first, when it first happens, is the biggest move. You can see it went against you, it did a 50% retracement, then it went down again. But what you're looking for ideally is this minor Triton wave right here. Okay, so this did a 50% and then went down. It's approximately 1272 extension from here. Okay, then you look for the next piece right here, which is about 4 or 5 days later, and you get a nice chunk of change here. Each one of these is about 10. Each one of these here is 10 points on this graph. So you've got 10 points here, 15 points here, and you can ride it all the way through here if you don't trail your stop, or just wait for a declining wave right here and an ascending price on the futures here. This is definitely a signal to get out, and if you're not out there, so that's the point at which you get out. This is the point at which you get in the downside, and you have this nice chunk of change. Now you have to have wide stops because this is approximately a 10-point move that went against you at the opening, or probably like 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so you wait a little bit, and you can play these. This is like fractal geometry. The more you break this down, you see the same wave patterns, but instead of using a chunk of time that's this big a chunk of time, if you break it down into if you break this down into like a 987 or a 144 tick chart or a 377 tick chart, then you can see these these moves right here, that it breaks down here and you get a lot of this chunk here and it breaks down here. So this is a general uptrend move if you don't want to watch the market every single minute. If you're a trader, you're using this as a backstop. Okay, so the next move was right in here, and yes, it went against you 12 points, but if you held with it, you got about 15 points out of it. Okay, myself saw this coming right here, and so I am currently short as of Thursday and Friday, the S&Ps, or actually the SPYs, right here, and so far this has gone with me. I would like to see this come down like it did. Let me clear this away a little bit and start again. Ideally, this will take a shot down into the major Triton wave right here, which is at 1951, which is 19 points away, which would bring us total on the day to 1920, about 21 to 22 points on the downside. Sometime Monday, I would be happy with that, and then wait for some kind of a bounce in between here, or maybe back to the 21 exponential moving average, wherever that is at the time. It's going to be probably down here at the time, but we'll wait and see what the waves do, and we'll wait and see. Let me look at this on a smaller time frame. Let me see if I have enough information on 987. That's not telling me much. Let's go to a 5-minute chart. Okay, the 5-minute chart. This is where on the 34-minute Globex, we were right about in here when T4 passed below zero, and T5. Whenever that goes below zero, that's like the final nail in the coffin. So this was my entry point. I let other people do this up here. I'm not interested. I want a definitive move below on these, especially if it's a shorter term one. So then once this goes down, you can just like ride it out until one of these, either T3 or T2 goes above zero. All right. All right, let's take a look at gold. This is the continuous contract. This is GC space pound F on eSignal. And this is the daily chart. So if you're looking for some kind of a breakout, it's kind of like channeled in between the minor Triton wave and this light purple major Triton wave, and it just keeps on bouncing off. It almost bounced exactly off of the top there. It just dipped down a little bit here, and almost exactly in the bottom one time, two times, went up to the top of that. So the channel keeps getting narrower, and now the T2 is showing that this is going above. Whoops, I got the wrong tool here. T2 is now going above zero a little bit here, but you can't always, if you wait, we're talking about days here, and we're talking about, this is back, this is each one of these is about each one of these spaces is a month on the daily. So while you're waiting for this to either break out through here on the upside or to break down in concert with these below zero. Now, wave T4, Triton wave 4 is already below zero. T3 is below zero, but T2 is moving up and T1 has been up. So you just have to keep that in mind. They're not really that hot to trade because they're very long-term waves on the daily. But we can break this down and look at a 21-minute chart and back this up a little bit here, and we can see right in here T1 on July 13th, right here. Bing, bing, bing. And it was 8 o'clock at night, so this is military time for any of you who don't recognize it. This was a perfect entry point at about 1340, and in about a day and a half it took you down to about 1310. Did a little bit about, now the goal, my goal actually is always take half off when it hits one of the major trend lines, and this is the major Triton wave. Let it come down and kiss off the top, and then see what the waves are doing. In this case, they were going down, so it didn't quite work out. It went down a little bit, but then went back up to the wave, hung around for about a day and a half, and then slammed down. Okay, but once you get above zero right here, and this happened on July 16th, right in here, then this took off from 1300 up to 1325. All right, so what are we doing right now? Right now, let's move this out to today's price. And we see there was another move here. Let me get this tool out again. Okay, this is what we were looking at before on the upside. Bing, it went through there. And then the 8 started, the 21, which is the 21 exponential moving average, crossed the 55. So the yellow crossed the red. And this crossed below zero. And it doesn't matter what kind of news comes out that's going to spike this. You have to have, kind of like gutsy stops on this, because this is like a 15-point move. So you have to know that even though it's going up there, that's a sell, because these waves are just trickling down one by one by one. Okay, so it hangs around, and then this finally goes below zero. This goes below zero in the middle of this drop, and it comes back into about 1290. And now it looks like, for at least the short term, it's a buy up to this area. It's already made that goal, so we have to wait until it comes back. And if this 21 right here stays above the 55, which is right here, and they both stay above the minor wave, and then they both travel above the major wave, and this rolls into this above zero. I can see this is above zero already, and this is a live chart, and this is above zero, just peeking its head through. We just need this to happen right here, and this could be a 20 or 30 point move on gold, and it could happen pretty quickly. Okay, I don't usually take a look at the yen, but I have it up in the chart. It's the E-mini yen futures. No crosses, just the yen by itself. and we can see that it crossed below zero on right around November, December of 2012, right here. Made this move down and basically stayed in a even though this retraced back over a number of months, this was still in a downtrend, and it still is in a downtrend. However, this little piece right here that what moved down is now above zero, and T1 moved above zero, T2 moved above zero, and now T3. That gives space for this to run from 98.20 up to 102.40, and it should and since the minor wave has already crossed the major wave right at this point, it's still a downtrend, but it doesn't mean it can't kick ass on the upside. So I'm looking for this to at least go to 102.40 and possibly on a panic 107.02, 107.07. All right, let's take a look at the EU. All right, let me get a little more data here. All right, just the opposite for the EU, which is what you would expect. That the 8 and the 55, the yellow is underneath the red, heading toward this major Triton wave right here, which is, well, let me see here. Can't really tell with that. That would be 133.57. All right, let me get that out of the way. Let's squinch this up a little bit and get back to the writing tool. And Triton wave number 1 is moving below zero in the past 2 months. In the past month, this has moved below zero on T2, and now this is completely below zero here, completely below zero here. So this, the euro, could actually start taking some stuff off the table right here. So look for this as the first move to the downside. If that doesn't hold, then it'll come down to about 1300 or below, 130 or below. So that is in conjunction. If basically if this moves down, the yen's going to move up. Let's take a look at Google. This is Google L. This is the post split shares. So this is the last time T1 did a significant cross below zero. Google was selling for 596, right in there, 595, 596, and came, and this crossed below, and this slammed into 580, and it was like this is the 21-minute cash price, and this happened in a day and a half. So this is like from 595 to 580, 15-point move. Okay, then it moves, really can't, it's kind of like wishy-washy in here, but it did start coming down here again, and this was already down, and this came down to, first it hit the Triton minor wave, and then a few hours later it opened up the next day at the major wave, and then just like ricocheted off. So now we have the same situation. This is now below zero, just like it was in here, and this is the same situation that we have. So we could see a move in Google that's right now trading for 596, and that could make, if it gets past 591, it could get down to 580 pretty quickly, which would be in concert with all these lows right here. So here's some nice moves in Apple going back to June, beginning of June, when it comes right down here, when it goes below zero, and then it's confirmed by T2, T3, and T4. And the only reason you would negate any of these moves below zero is if T1 goes above zero, and it never happened all along this move. So you just play this down to the minor wave right here, and it goes a little bit below it, so you can trail stops once it goes below, and then you wait for this to come back above zero, and you have this move. Now it's not going to be the same as the, before the 7 for 1 split or 10 for 3 split or whatever it was. So they're not as big a moves, but there's a lot of activity in it. It's only going from 90 to 96 instead of what would have been, like 50 points. It's 6 or 7 points, and then it goes below zero right here. Bing, down, down to the downside again to the minor Triton wave. You wait for the next signal. You wouldn't have gotten this because this was a news announcement, and it crossed up while it was going up, so you wouldn't have gotten that. So I do not have a call. This is now a mixed message because T4 is below zero, and these are just like skimming the zero line. So this upside looks like it's going to wash out a little bit. I at one point thought it was going to go to back. I think I did the last video 2 weeks ago, and so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We were here, and it looked like it wanted to go up to 100, and then it tanked a little bit, came back up here, and they're almost to new highs. They're 2 points away, so it could make it to 100, but T5 is saying just be cautious. Okay, one of the darlings of Wall Street, Triple D, right here. This is a daily chart, and you can see it topped out at 69.70, and for the first time, I'm going to squinch this up, but I want you to look at this orange and dark orange and light orange line here as I do this. I just wanted you to see that this is now below zero. It's like 4 days into being below zero, and in those 4 days it chopped off from 57 to 52, which is a pretty good move for like a $60 stock. But I want you to see when the last time T3 was below zero. Now T1 has been below zero the whole time, and we lost a big portion of Triple D right here before like its necessary bounce to clear out the shorts. This is about a 50% retracement from the top here anyway. Alright, but this below zero is the first time since back in February of 2012. So it's pretty decent times. 2 years and about 4 months. And it is below zero now. So it looks like Triple D wants to come down here to the 43 area, at least match the lows that came in May. Let's see what like a smaller time frame chart looks like. My numbers are always a little bit slow loading. Okay, so this gets you in a little bit. Actually, this has several plays on it on the 21. Let me load a little more information in here. I have to get a lot of history in order to satisfy the waves on this, because these are fairly long waves. Let me get a tool up here. Alright, so this takes off right here about June 12th of 2014, and this stays above zero until right in here. Bing. This is the nice move here. Rule of thumb: when it leaves its trajectory and goes in a logarithmic pattern straight up, you want to just trail very, very closely. So you actually, because if you wait for it to come all the way back here, then you would have missed this last 7 to 10 point move. So if you trailed your stop, you'd probably be out right around here at 66, which is not a bad addition right in here. All right, so this is a short down to here. You'd cover, get back in when this crosses back over zero, or when this when the 55 crosses below the minor wave and the major wave right in here. They're all kind of clumped together in here, and they start doing big divergences right here. And this is continued down on the 21. This is now below zero, and this is below zero, and that matches T3 on the daily. So for this to come down here, and let me look at a 55 to see if that gives you any more of a longer view. Not really. So it's like a 3 or 4 point move. Let me go back to the daily. Let me see here. Daily. Okay, I'm back to 43 on the daily. That looks like it's where it's going. Okay, we'll look at one more, which is Tesla. This is this move you actually can't see on the daily, but what you can see is non-confirming tops on Triton wave 1, and there's not enough. There's just simply not enough data because it's only been open for a couple of years. So this line is going to be blank. I need about 4 or 5 years worth of data to get this wave down here. Non-confirming. This is the non-confirming higher high, and on very small waves, you can see where these are happening. But the second wave, when it goes down like this, is usually confirmation that it's heading down. Now this is actually taking its time. It did go down to the 144, and then kick back up again to about a 618 retracement right in here, and been since selling off. This is a daily, so it's been selling off for about 2 weeks. This is still down below zero, and now we have T2 going below zero. All right, let's look at this in the smaller wave. Let's do the 144, see if we see anything. That didn't quite get you. Okay, so these were the two peaks in the 144, and actually this this got you in below zero right here on especially T2. T1 isn't very clear here. T2 goes below zero here, and then this move from 179. Take half off the table at 139, trail your stop, bing, 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 down to 119, moves above zero. Oops. So this is right here, like there. Okay, wait for the next move. This is a 144, so it's a longer chart. It's not something you want to look at every single day. You take this when it starts leaving its nice trajectory, but then it spikes up. You want to trail that spike all the way up. Okay, if you used a 144 to get out, usually use smaller time frames to get out once you get in. If you use this, then you would have lost a little piece of that top. But that brings you down to the minor Triton wave, and then that stayed low. It went above again, and now it's about to kick off to the downside. Now this is going to be in concert with the daily that kick off to the downside on T2. You just have to remember that or have them chart side by side. This is now down, this is now down, and this is now down. So as soon as, you don't even have to wait for this to go down, this is going to go down. I'm forecasting 206. If it breaks that, then we're looking at 188. Okay, that's all I have for tonight. I don't want to make this already 30 minutes, so I don't want to push it. I wish you good trading, and I will see you at the next update. If any of you are interested in trading gold or want to know when to get in and out of gold, you can get in touch with me at, let me see here, at tritonwaveguy@gmail.com, and I will see you at the next update. Have a great rest of the weekend.